Well, CoastLife, we started the show today talking about AI. Then about halfway through the show, we talked a little social media influencer events. Are they ruining them? Are they not? And now we're coming kind of full circle with the complete social media conversation for our great debate. Social media. Is it harmful? Is it helpful? And I think, when you first hear that question, both is the answer. You're going to say both. So I think for me, I want to add a little extra. Is it more harmful than helpful or more helpful than harmful? Because I think that's the conversation.
And it's hard to parse out here because one of the things that you have to contend with is if you fall on the side of it's more harmful than helpful, there's nothing stopping you from not being on social media.
That is true.
And yet we seem to all be on social media quite a bit.
I think for me, I am going to land on the harmful side of this argument. And I think more often than not, social media is harmful than it is helpful. I think it is great in a lot of ways, but I think yes, one of the good things is you get information a lot faster and you get world news a lot faster. You know things that are happening all around, not just you, but you.
The royal we.
The royal we. We're learning a lot about in record time. But I think with that, we're getting information too fast. We're getting wrong information too fast. And people are digesting misinformation and not parsing the difference between what is and isn't fact.
So it is really interesting. I think you talked about news, breaking news, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It actually is really helpful. I remember, this is a weird example, but when there was that attempted coup in Russia, mm-hmm. I don't know anybody that lives in Russia, right. And I was able to follow these accounts that were giving us information in real time mm-hmm. from the different cities where this was going on. So for things like that, it's got a huge value.
Absolutely.
However, more often than not, what it actually ends up being used for is like making a teenage girl feel bad about her body, or making you feel bad that you don't own a bigger home, or don't go on more vacations, or this and that.
And that does more damage overall to generations of people than it would even, you want to think, oh, it's just the younger people, oh, it's just this age group. But I think that'll do damage that lasts for so long. But I think the reason that I really always will land on the more harmful side than the helpful side of social media is that I think it does lead into that phone addiction. I mean, I sometimes find myself just grabbing for my phone, even when I have nothing to check. Like, I know nothing has changed on Facebook since I last logged in. Nothing has changed on Instagram since I last logged in, which was probably 10 minutes ago. And while TikTok is constantly feeding you new information, it's nothing that I want to watch.
Like 80% of it is
nothing good. It is nothing that I actually,
yes.
And sometimes I do. I check in because I'm like, oh, how's my video doing? And it hasn't done anything in 3 days. And I'm like, how's my video doing? And it still hasn't done anything in 3 more days.
Or heaven forbid, it starts to take off, and then you're checking it every 3 minutes.
Yes, and then you're like, oh wow, they think I'm funny. Oh wow. And so I think that's the side that I'm struggling with personally the most, is that phone addiction. And this comes from an article too that we read where they say, and I think this is on the generous side, that we check our phones 200 times a day.
It's more than that.
It's definitely more than that.
It's a disgusting amount. Like when you can look at your phone at how much time during the day you've spent on it, and you're just like, what am I doing with my life?
Right.
Like, do I need an intervention? But also, social media sort of feels like the way I've always described golf, which is the most infuriating thing I never planned to quit.
Right. Yes.
Like I'm gonna be using it. Like, that's just gonna happen.
I know.
Trying to carve out less time to use it, or some time to be away from it, mm-hmm. is probably healthy, but I have not successfully done that yet.
I've taken baby steps, but you ebbs and flows, But we always turn the conversation over to you guys over on Facebook. We're getting a lot of mixed reviews. People saying, Liz says she's in the middle. Donald said it can be brutal and rarely really great, but it can be. But he says it's something to do. And then Steve also says a little bit of both, which I think is why I wanted to add a little bit of that. Do you lean more one way or the other?
Because it doesn't feel like binary. It's not a 1 or a 0. It's mm-hmm. shaded one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but we always want to hear from you. You still have time. You can chime in over on our socials. You can also go to coastlife.com/vote. But we do have some more Coast Life to get to. That's on the way.